All right, time for this week's What's It Worth segment with Old Northeast Jeweler. And this morning we're looking at the ever popular brand of Rolex.
Hi, good to be here. My name is Jeffrey Hess, and we have Old Northeast Jewelers with a store in St. Petersburg and in Tampa. And we are your luxury watch headquarters. We sell luxury watches and luxury diamonds, and you'll be very happy if you come to see us. Today we're going to talk about Rolexes and vintage Rolexes. We love vintage, as you always see every week here. I wrote the book on Rolex. This is called The Best of Time, Rolex Wristwatches, that I wrote with my colleague James Dowling, and it's called An Unauthorized History, because we don't want to get sued by Rolex. This is a later edition here, and we put some cool watches on here that are pre what you normally see. The normal two-tone, the normal President, the normal Submariner. Back in the day, Rolex made some really cool stuff. We're going to start off with the bubble back. This is one of the first waterproof watches they made. This one's 14 karat gold with a redone dial. So we only paid $1,700 for it because it's 14 karat and it has a redone dial. Now over here you have a similar bubble back, and here's a picture of one that's on the cover of our book, right below it. But this one is 18 karat and has an original black dial. So the combination of being 18 karat rather than 14 karat and having an original black dial, which is very desirable, means that we paid $4,500 for this, and it is for sale in our store for $5,500. Next, one of the most collectible of the old vintage Rolexes. It's an Oyster Watch. It's waterproof also. It's called the Rolex Athlete. A little bit of a problem here. We got this really cheap. We got it for $1,500 because it's missing some of the lume. You can see some of the luminosity material has fallen off of the hand. It's got the original dial, so if the luminosity was not messed up with the original dial, we probably would have paid $3,000 or more. Now, when these do not have the original dial, they're only worth about $1,000. But if you have one, by all means, bring it over. It's a really cool watch. And this is called a Marconi, a Rolex Marconi. Some people mistake them for doctor's watches. They're not. But look how they were made, curved to fit the wrist. Rolex had a partnership with Gruen back in the day, and Gruen made the famous Gruen Curvex. But because Rolex and Gruen were actually partners, believe it or not, back in the day, they kind of shared some design. And this is called the Rolex Marconi in stainless steel. Cool original dial, and we paid $2,000 for that cool piece. It's a man's watch, but can be worn by a lady. And here's the, excuse my 1990s-ism, here's the Mac Daddy of all vintage. This is the 18 karat gold, two-tone, white gold and yellow gold, Rolex Brancard Prince Doctor's Watch. It was actually called the Brancard. It's kind of an hourglass shape. It's also curved to fit the wrist. But it's commonly referred to as a doctor's watch because this great big giant second hand was preferred by doctors when they were taking pulses. So it's really neat because it's such a huge watch for the day back in the 1930s. It can still be worn today. Look at it in contrast to this watch. This was a man's watch back in the 30s, but today a guy might feel, I don't know, a little wimpy wearing it. I wear it, I don't care. It's cool, it's Art Deco, but it's kind of small. But this one can be worn and looks good on a guy with a big old wrist like mine. And it is really cool. Now we paid $7,500 for this because it has the original dial and because it is rose gold and white gold, and it is what it is. It's in fantastic condition. By the way, the crown's been replaced, so we're gonna have to replace the crown. Here's one right on the cover of our book, right there. So Rolex made all kinds of weird things. People don't know this. They made watches with rhinestones in them. They made gold filler watches. Rolex made a lot of unusual things, and some of them worth a ton of money. Takes an expert to know. Give us a call, 1-800-922-4377, or give us a call at one of our stores in St. Petersburg or Tampa. Thank you.